Hi guys and ladies, welcome back to the channel. My name is Lisema Matsietsi, and on this week we are talking about a private company. What is a private company? We started this whole series with all the work that I've done while I was registering a company, finding all the different type of companies. This time we are sitting on a private company. In case you are wondering, stay tuned for the rest of the video. Just before we start with the whole detail, we're going to be going through 16 type of differences. We'll start with what is the definition, how you incorporate, how you get it registered, all the way until we discussing who are the governing body when you are a private company. So don't you worry, I'll be able to cover everything else to give you a full view of what a private company looks like and what you should be looking for. Before we even go further, let us start with a little disclaimer. The disclaimer for this video is that the video is generated for general information only and does not constitute legal advice. It is advised that you should seek your own professional advice in any concern in case you want to find out what the difference is. This true? Is this not? This is just me, the analyst, who's coming back to here to say this is what I found out. This is what it means for you to have a private company. Let's start first with the definition. What is a private company? A private company trades for profit, and a company may not offer its shares to the public, and the transferability of its securities are limited. It's called private for that reason that it is just between you or a few partners. It cannot be for everybody else to have shares in it. So if you are one of those guys that wants to involve all of your clients to have a share into your company, you cannot set up that as a private company. You might have to look at other types of companies. Looking at the second one, which is incorporation. What does it mean for you to incorporate or make this company? It may be incorporated by one or more people. You cannot just go there and create a company that doesn't have people, especially if you're in South Africa, doesn't have ID numbers of a person who's living. You have to have at least one ID number, one director, one member into it for it to get incorporated. The second one is for you to go into registration, you have to look at the following. The first one is the notice of incorporation, which is the COR 14.1, and the second one is the memorandum of incorporation. Memorandum of incorporation, you can make your own memorandum of incorporation. If you are not able to do that, or you are lazy, or you don't understand the whole system, don't you worry, because COR 15.1 will cover you. This is a general memorandum of incorporation that says a company belongs to this person becomes a director, becomes a benefit, the profits will be shared this way, just high level. If you don't like that one and you want to do your own, you are allowed to do that and send it through to say this company will belong to this type of people. Number four is the place of business. Because you are opening up this company in South Africa, you have to have a registered address within South Africa. That's just another requirement to say if you don't have a registered business address, you cannot operate within South Africa. The fifth one, we're looking at the annual returns. There's a difference. This annual returns is where you are coming through to say, I am still operational. I have made a profit. This is what they want to see. Remember, this is a private company and it operates for a profit. First thing that they want to see, are you operational? Are you in operation for a report? And this annual returns must be filed within 30 business days after the anniversary of the date of incorporation. So if you've incorporated 30 days after the anniversary, we're expecting you to start, giving us what did you do on your side. The fifth one, which is a little bit more different to annual returns, I always say, is the annual financial statement. Financial statements must be prepared within 6 months of the financial year end. So after you've done your financial year end, 6 months after that, we're expecting you to give out financial statement. The seventh thing that you can ask yourself is, what is a financial year? A financial year needs to be a fixed period. So you cannot decide to say, in one year, I'm going to have a 12-month trading financial year. Another year, I'm going to have an 18 months trading financial year. The most common one is the 12-month trading financial year. But if you decide on 12 months, it remains 12 months forever. If you want to make it 18 months, I think you are allowed to do that, but you are just, confusing a lot of shareholders or a lot of members if you have members in that case. The eighth one is changes to the financial year, which is very important. You have a financial year, you have you said it's going to be a 12-month year. What happens when you want to make changes? If you want to make changes, you want to make it an 18-month long financial year. The company may change its financial year and by filling a form called a COR25 with the CIPC, which must comply with the requirements set. That's just the financial year if you want to change. Number nine, we're looking at is an auditor compulsory if you're creating a private company? The answer to that is yes, it is compulsory, but there's a condition. Yes, it is compulsory if a company holds assets for another party in excess of 5 million. So normally you don't have to have an auditor. But if you have if you're holding somebody's assets and those assets are more than 5 million, there's a property, there's equipment that you're holding for somebody else, you need to have an auditor. And the other thing is the public interest score is more than 350 or more, or the public interest score is 100 or more, and the financial statements are internally combined, or it is required by the MOI or by shareholders or directors resolution in terms of an agreement. So you can make up your own thing, send on the side and say, we will require auditing in our private company. Number 10 is the company secretary required? No, this company secretary is not required, but it doesn't stop you. If you want to create a public company and you want to have a company secretary, you can go ahead and get yourself a company secretary. Number 11, is an AGM required? Annual general meeting, is it required? It is required only if it has been specified by the MOI. But if you're using the same MOI that we spoke about, the COR 15.1, you do not have to have an annual general meeting. It's just between you and your members that you created a partnership, whatever the case is, or you are one man show in your public private company. You do not need to create an annual general meeting and highlight any of those things. You do not need to do that. Number 12, the minimum number of directors that are required. Like I said, just one is good enough because you can create a one-man show. If you have just one, you are allowed to start, but you cannot set up a private company with no people, no directors, nobody. Public company has to be registered with at least one person, which in this case, that person will become a director. Number 13, we're looking at minimum number of members that are required. Only one member is required. In this case, if you join in the previous one, number 12 and number 13 is you need to have at least one director and one member, meaning that the director could be a member. So if I'm registering alone, I'll say Lisema Matsietsi is the member of this company, and Lisema Matsietsi is also a director, and he'll be managing the whole company. So you become a managing director of your own company. It can happen at one point that you don't have the same name. In this case, you will have a member, you will have a different director. You are more than welcome to set it up that way. Number 14, the offering of securities to the public. It's a private company, so the MOI restricts transferring of shares to the public. So you cannot just come and say, I'm going to give, my favorite church some shares. Everybody else from that local church will just get some shares. You cannot do that because this is a private company. You are compelled to keep it private. Number 15, we're looking at keeping of company records. You are required to keep all company records. It's not to say you can keep it for 5 years, after that you can bend them away. No, you are required to keep all the company records, not just because you're doing it for tax purposes or whatever. all the company records, all the employees, all the invoices, all the agreements that you've went through, you are required to keep them. You can scan them and keep them digitally, or you can keep them physically. It doesn't specify how you should keep them, but you are just required to keep the records of your company. Number 16, regulatory bodies. Who is the regulatory body if you're operating in South Africa? The CIPC is the regulatory body. The Commission of Intellectual Property and Companies will be the one that tells you what to do. You remember when I was saying, even when you change in the financial year, you have to come back to this. They are the one that tells you how to behave and what to do. That's it, guys. Guys and ladies, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more like this, hit me down on the comments below. Otherwise, please don't forget to subscribe, like, do all those nice things that people do on YouTube, and stay tuned for another video to discuss another type of company.